All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is our episode 2 of our podcast. Want to start off and open up and say thanks so much for joining us again. We know your time is valuable, and I speak on behalf of both of us that we appreciate you guys tuning in and hopefully getting some value from it.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Excited to be able to share again today and have all this great group of people just, watching this and hopefully sharing thoughts and ideas with us as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, the comments, the feedback we got from the first one, every one of them matter. It makes our day truly, and I think you could say the same.
Absolutely. It's just very bright comments and good stuff that just made us want to go back and dig deeper and get more information and more value out.
Yeah, so please, if you have feedback and hopefully something positive or even criticism, constructive criticism, we'll take it, and we appreciate you guys reaching out. So let's get started. We sort of have a open format like we talked about before.
Yeah.
I want to go into the first topic with you, and I know you love baseball.
Yes, sir.
Everyone knows that you love baseball. You said 6 of your boys play baseball?
6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard yet. They're trying to bring back Major League Baseball as well as other sports. And how they're planning to do it, by the way, is that they're planning to have them in the stadium, cameras, reporters, everyone's going to be there, but no audience. Which means, I mean, you've been to Dodgers games, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to tell you, brother, that I'm not so sure you may be able to go to one, unfortunately, in the beginning.
For a while, right?
Yeah, but it will be at least televised. What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I'm excited because we're going to get back to see baseball, right? What we love, those moments that we love to, gather as family to watch a game together, have conversations about the game, and just have that family, moment. But, it's like anything else. I think everybody's adjusting to the changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an adjustment. We're not used to seeing that, but excited to see that baseball is going to be back, and it's going to be a different way.
Yeah.
Of watching baseball, different way of enjoying the game. But I'm excited because it's going to get started, and as anything else, as things develop, they're going to be making adjustments as well, and they're making adjustments to still, be able to put out their show, their sports, and players could go out there and play, and we can have entertainment, right? Things that we could do as family to, enjoy outside of work and day-to-day lifestyle. It's watch baseball and enjoy baseball, but it's going to be fun to watch the adjustments and changes, and we're excited to see it.
So I want to know what your thoughts are on the player side. So if you put yourself, and you used to play baseball too.
Yeah.
So I think you could probably put some good experience on this. If you were a Major League Baseball player, how would it affect you and your mindset? And what do you think you need to do to make sure that you're still performing? Because does the stadium audience help? Does that energy help? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it all comes and takes effect on the player, on the coaches, on the environment, right? It's like anything in life. We're adjusting in life to live through the circumstances based on everything that is happening. We're adjusting in business, schools, everything is adjusting. So I think the player itself, it's a different mindset that they're going to have to get into an empty field without any noise. A lot of players, I'm sure they get that adrenaline, they get that pump, and they get that push because they get into that zone when they're seeing all the audience and all the crowds and the yelling and the screaming, the moment and the excitement, especially when you're so passionate about it. And I'm sure those guys are. That's why they're where they're at. And it's going to take a mental adjustment, to deal with an empty field with no noise and just playing basically, on their own with each other and not having that big crowd that they're used to. And I'm sure it's going to take time for players to adjust and make mental adjustments to play the way they're going to play and to execute the way they do based on the previous environment that they were in before.
Yeah, I think.
But it's fun to watch.
I think you, absolutely on that.
Yeah.
I think you touched up perfectly on it. Is that professional players are not outside of what's impacting everybody. Just like everyone else is adjusting right now, right? I had to adjust my business. You had to adjust your business. Anyone had to adjust. just because you're a professional player doesn't mean you don't need to adjust either.
But see that the nature of us as human beings, Seth, though, is we think, oh, they're just going to go out and play again, and it's going to be normal for them. It's not.
Yeah.
You got to really understand is it's the way they've been doing, their sport, their business, and how they go about their businesses. They go out, and I guarantee you that most of those players, they get into the field and they get on their zone because they don't get distracted by their surroundings. But at the same time, the environment and just the energy in that field is what brings the best out of them, in my opinion. So it's a big adjustment for them. And I think it's going to be fun to watch what's going to happen to individuals, players' performance based on the changes. And it's going to be fun to watch who's going to make the adjustments, which players are going to suffer through the adjustments, and how quickly those players are going to be able to adjust and get back in rhythm again into obviously getting to be as successful as they are in the environment that they've been playing for years already.
Yeah, I mean, and you said the word environment, and I know in the previous podcast, as well as other videos, I've heard you speak about putting yourself in a positive environment.
Right.
And two things I want to say is the first thing is you're right in the beginning where you said, I think some people look at celebrities or professional players and they put them on such a high pedestal that they don't think that they're affected.
Correct.
When in actuality, this is their business. Their business is to play professional baseball.
Correct.
So they have to adjust. And so if anything, it's almost like saying, because what we're doing is we're changing their entire environment.
Correct.
That's a hard adjustment to make. They need to put themselves, like you always say, in a positive environment. And it's hard to do that when you don't have an audience. I feel like they're going to have to probably feed off each other's energy. And I think what you're going to find is you're going to find a lot more team synergy going on, of the Dodgers players being even more close with each other and the coaches being even closer with their team members, because they have to depend on each other now to perform at that high level.
Yes, that's very true. I think you placed a very very well note there, and I think that's what's going to happen is they're going to have to feed off of themselves as an actual team, which they do already, but throughout the environment and the energy from the stadium and from the environment. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how they're going to make that adjustment, how they're going to get back in rhythm, because remember, they went through spring training to prepare to get ready to start the season. Then the season didn't start. So they're going to have to go through a preparation again prior to starting the season again, absolutely, without having that spring training that they had at the beginning, which they usually do. So there's going to be a lot of changes that they're going to have to adjust, and it's going to be fun to watch because it's time of, to observe and watch how they react and learn from it as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think we all love sports. So I'm glad regardless that it's coming back.
Yeah, so. It's one of those things we're excited definitely to see back again.
Cool, man. Well, hey, let's get into our next part of the topic. The next one is actually pretty positive, actually. And I saw this from a friend of mine, Cody Stevens. He's a mortgage guy, and he puts up market updates all the time. And it was really cool because apparently in May, the unemployment rate was expected to be 10 to 12 million. It was a pretty high double-digit number. And it turns out it was only about 2 to 3/4 million. So we're seeing improvement.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome news. When I saw that information, I was actually pretty excited and thrilled to see it, because we're seeing a lot of good, positive feedback on what's happening out there, especially in the housing industry. We are very active, and right now the market is just hot.
Yeah.
And when I mean hot, buyers are buying, rates are super low. Our demand level is super high. Numbers are higher than they were last year. So we're seeing nothing but good stuff happening, and we're excited to get these buyers out shopping. We're excited to get our sellers, selling their homes and getting offers above asking price, and just basically trying to educate our consumers that despite everything that is happening, our market's still very strong, and there's a lot of people looking to purchase, trying to accomplish their dream of home ownership, and it's fun to watch all the activity that is happening despite of all the negativity around us. So we're excited. We're excited to help all these families.
Yeah, because you're in real estate, and so real estate market sounds like it's hot. It's great. And it's
Yes.
recovering well. And I'll tell you, it's not just real estate. I'm seeing restaurants doing well again. I'm seeing takeout from even restaurants doing well.
Yeah.
I'm a big Subway guy. Subway and Wobble Girl. I kid you not. I used to live off of these things.
Got it.
And I remember going into Subway and Wobble Grill the very first week this pandemic hit, which was the lockdown right around the end of March. And I spoke to it was the owner that happened to be in there because they couldn't afford payroll. You know,
Got it.
it was such a massive change.
Yes.
So spoke to her and I said, hey, so how are you guys doing? And she said, honestly, you're my first client today. And this was like at 3 p.m.
Wow.
So not a single person. 2 weeks later, I go in there again. I say, hey, how are you guys doing? She said, we're doing okay now. Like, not the best, but it's
Right.
definitely picked up. I went there a couple of days ago, and there was a line to
Yeah.
get food now.
Yeah.
That I think it's incredible how fast this recovery's happened. I know it's been 2 months, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more now, and it's felt like a long stretch. But
And I think that's where it comes down to, right? We feel it has been that long, but at the same time, you just placed a perfect example. We're starting to see the pickup really
Mhm.
fast, and it's taking off very, very fast. And it's exciting to hear that because housing is doing that, restaurants are doing that. People just wants to go out, right?
Yeah.
People wants to just go out and live life, enjoy life, and pick up where we left off, months ago, and just get back to life and learn the lessons that we learned from the situations that we went through over those 2 months period or 2.5 months. But it's definitely looking very, very positive out there in all aspects of life.
Yeah, the two things I want to mention when you're bringing that up, I remember two experiences, and I was honestly, I saw this coming.
Uh-huh.
I was very optimistic about a month ago, and I'll tell you why. Morongo Casino opened up about 3 weeks to a month ago,
Right.
and I don't know if you saw this. There was a line on the freeway to get into Morongo, a line on the freeway just to get into
Just
the
to get
actual
in there.
exit. And I said, man, when this economy reopens up, it's gonna boom.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I saw was I have a friend in Arizona. And Arizona was one of the first states that started reopening up.
Right.
Even bars are open and things
Yeah.
are open. And I asked her, hey, so where are you going today? She said, honestly, nowhere. I said, well, why not? You guys are open. She said, I've been trying to get an Uber for 2 hours,
Wow.
and I haven't been able to secure one.
All of them busy, huh?
She said there was lines outside of every restaurant,
Mhm.
every bar, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Entertainment was, and these are the hard hit sectors:
Yeah, yeah.
entertainment, restaurants, even movies,
Yeah.
and they're booming,
Yeah.
booming. So I just know it's going to happen.
Well, think about it. I was talking to a guy over at Chipotle the other
Mhm.
day, and obviously they were hit hard on the first couple of weeks. But if you look at it, it's one of those sectors that also needed kind of a break, right?
Yeah.
And it was like one of those little breaks where everybody, and even in our business, it's one of those little breaks where you take, you readjust, and you prep, and you readjust, and you prepare for the takeoff again, right? And I
Yeah.
think some of those businesses took it for some time to readjust their internal operation, take a little breather, and prepare, because I know, and then they kind of anticipated once this whole thing started to unfold and open up that it was going to be just so busy and so massive takeoff again, where they needed to be prepared for that. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
And you know what? I'll be real. When this first happened, you spoke on this a lot.
Yeah.
You talked about, hey, take advantage of this time, restructure your business,
Yeah.
your CRMs, your marketing. And we're seeing now the results of those companies that did that. They're hitting the ground and they're running already. And others, unfortunately didn't take advantage of it. And they can still, the great thing is, though, there's still time.
Yeah, it's either you prepared or you didn't, but there's time to still prepare and get back and be ready for everything that it's coming in front of us. But there's a lot of opportunity like anything else. We did a lot of adjustments on our side. We cleaned up our process a whole lot.
Yeah.
And we were navigating through doing business, but at the same time adjusting and cleaning up the process so that we could be ready for the takeoff. And right now, we're experiencing that takeoff. We're so busy and there's so many people calling to buy. We're getting more sellers calling as well. So we're seeing that big takeoff as well, because that's just what in general is happening.
Yeah, I definitely want to touch up more on that later in this segment. This is great. But before we do, I do want to get into a little bit of a fun break, the push-up challenge.
Yeah.
So Cirillo Ortiz is a friend of yours.
Yes.
A great friend. I know the guy too. He's awesome. and he nominated you for the push-up challenge. And I want to get into how much I admire the fact that you're doing this, because it was such a spontaneous thing that happened.
But it's taken off
And it's
huge,
taken
right?
off. Yeah. And what I think, and I'll tell you, I really feel, this is my experience, that you were one of the pioneers of this, because it was just you and Cyril and maybe a couple others that started this, to be honest. And I really liked about you, brother, is that you just stuck to it. You committed to it, and every morning you're doing it. Every single morning you're doing it. I even saw baby Carlos in one of them,
Right,
in the background while you're doing push-ups, and he wanted to do push-ups with you, I think.
yeah.
Touch up on that. I really liked it. I liked the idea that you committed to it, you ran with it. What are your thoughts on that idea?
It has expanded out huge, man. Think about it. And it started obviously from an invite from Cirilo, from a great cause, and I want to take this moment to thank him for doing that, because it has allowed me, and I think everybody else that took the challenge, to really dig deep into the situation of the cause for the challenge. But it took off massively. It took off massively where, it's you tag one, and then the next thing you know, there's this big social media push-up, and people that don't understand what's going on, they're seeing people just doing push-ups. But if you really dig deep into it and actually do your research, it started for that cause, and it's fun to watch, man, how big it has gone. And for me, it's a commitment. Like anything else in life, it has been a commitment. I can't let my people down. I can't let the challenge down. I committed to something, and I'm going to complete my commitment, just like everybody else that has committed to it. But it's taking off huge.
Yeah.
It's taking off huge. It's exciting to see, all the activity that's happening from it, and everybody that is really committed, in our group to do the challenge.
Yeah, I do want to say, for the viewers that don't know, the push-up challenge is a 25 push-ups a day for 25 days. You get to nominate someone each day,
Correct.
Someone different. And then the challenge, the cause for it is for suicide and mental health awareness.
Correct.
One of the things that we're always pushing is that there's a national helpline that's absolutely free for anyone that needs the help for the mental illness or suicide, especially during these tough times, right? The pandemic with the lockdown, like people were stuck at home. So again, a great cause, and a big thank you to everyone that did participate.
Yeah.
I like the fact that no matter, because it's a relatively small commitment, but you stick to it.
Right.
And I love that.
And complete it, right?
Yes.
And you start it, you got to finish it. And it's a commitment to yourself. And I think that's how you commit to other things in life as well. When you start something and you commit to it, that's your responsibility to complete it.
I think we've spoken about before, where it's, even if it's something big or small, you want to follow through, because that's how you're going to treat everything in your life.
Well, think about it. It's a responsibility, the commitment, right? If you quit on the little things and you don't finish what you started, it's very easy that's how you translate that to other things in your life.
Bad habits.
Yeah. And again, 25 push-up commitment for a big cause, but at the same time is a commitment. I'm on day 21 today.
Yeah.
I got 4 days left. I feel good.
Yeah.
You know why? Because at the beginning I was like, man, what if I forget? I work out almost every single day, but now I got a commitment, an additional commitment. I gotta commit, and I gotta complete. And I'm excited that we committed to it. The people that committed to it are still committed to it, and I'm excited to see everything that has developed. And I'm almost completing my portion of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to our next segment. We did this in the last episode as well. And it's just throwing out a word and kind of letting you dish out on it. So the first word I was thinking about today was opportunity. You can take it away. What are your thoughts? Like, what do you think of when you hear the word opportunity?
Roll with it. And when I mean roll with it is, there's a lot of opportunity right now, despite of everything that is happening. And I think everything has to do with mindset. A lot of the times we allow the situations to determine our mindset as to whether we look at it negatively or are we going to look at it positively. And when I mean opportunity, there's a lot of opportunity right now, in business. There's a lot of opportunity in so many areas of life, but there's a lot of opportunity right now, especially on what I do, which is real estate. There's so much opportunity when it comes down to just assisting families that are looking to purchase and sell. And we're taking advantage of as much as we can from that opportunity.
I think one of the regrets that I hear from majority of people is the term missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you were saying, jump on it, right? And a lot of these opportunities, I feel like they don't cost money or they don't take a lot of effort. I mean, you talked about real estate, but there's opportunities in so many different
So
forms.
many different other businesses.
Yeah, especially even if you think of opportunity on the non-business, we're talking about physical health, for example. We talked about a push-up challenge earlier.
Yeah,
That's a physical health opportunity
that is correct.
for a great cause on top of that.
It's rolling with it, like I said at the beginning when you mentioned the word, and putting in the work towards it, right? And there's a lot of opportunity. Think about even just in the push-up challenge. If you were not doing push-ups before and you started doing the challenge, look at your video when you started, look at the video when you ended, from day 1 to day 25. Look at the difference and the progress from day 1 to day 25. Now you're becoming better from day 1 to day 25. So it's just rolling with it, sticking to it, and taking action. And I think there's a lot of opportunity right now. We just got to take action.
Well, think about it. If you did 25 push-ups, 25 days, I believe that's 625 push-ups. For some people, they don't do push-ups on a regular basis.
Right.
I mean, you work out every morning, but the ones who are taking on that challenge, they're getting great physical health. And that is an opportunity.
Of course, because they're getting better within their bodies, right? And hopefully they utilize that moment to say, I got to take off from here and pick up from here, where I start implementing something like this into my life on a day-to-day basis, because they realize, oh, shoot, I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
I got to get in shape.
Yeah.
I know some guys that they're actually, thanks to that challenge, they're actually getting themselves into, hey, I didn't realize how bad out of shape I was. I got to get in shape. So I think every situation creates opportunity, but everything is about mindset. Mindset, if whether we see the opportunity or whether we don't. And that's how we have to, establish our mindset on how do we prepare on a day-to-day basis to look at opportunity despite of what everybody else is looking at.
And that's good, because it's based on this conversation, it's leading me to my next word already, which was initiative. Taking the initiative.
Correct.
And in your case, or rather in your words that you said earlier, take the initiative to jump on those opportunities.
Correct.
How has initiative helped you in your life? Could you dish on that?
Tremendously, because I think everything that I've done, it has taken initiative. Whether I was scared to do it or not, I took the initiative of doing it, without sometimes knowing the outcome or understanding what the end result was going to be, but just doing it itself and getting involved in the activity. It allowed me to experience it and allow me to learn it, and it allowed me to grow through it just by basically taking the initiative of doing the thing that I wanted to do versus just not doing anything at all about it.
Yeah, being a doer versus just a talker, or
that is correct.
Yeah, actions speak louder, that kind of concept.
That is correct.
Wow. Well, that was awesome. Let's go into our next format. It's a little bit more open format we talked about before. This is where you can sort of take it. Based on our previous, rhetoric that we've been talking about so far, I really want to go into, you talked about this earlier, is how your business was shifted during the pandemic and how you feel like what you've done in the last 2 months has helped you for now. Like, could you dish on maybe something that you did specifically for the audience, maybe for some of the realtors, even, business owners or people that want to just become an entrepreneur? What's something that you took advantage of during this time on the business side that you're seeing results for right now?
Just reevaluating the format of my business, meaning, our systems, our procedures, our CRM, our online presence, Instagram, social media overall, and just shifting our business more into obviously understanding that it's going to be more based off of social media presence, starting to go bigger and harder on that avenue because of distancing and things of that nature, where we have to make the adjustments and now we have to cater to our customers, not necessarily on a personal basis. Now is into a Zoom meeting, into a virtual tour showing, and making those adjustments so that we could be ready for the new business model that we're going to see from this point and on, because it's just changing our industry completely.
Definitely.
It's changing that, the fact that we're not going to be meeting a lot of our customers like this anymore. There's going to be a lot of need of people just wanting to do everything online, despite of even once we're in a position to be more in a position where we don't have social distancing as a must, but it's gonna basically go that direction. So we have to be ready to cater and assist our customers that way.
Well, help me out with that. I'm going to think a little outside the box based on what you just said.
Yeah.
You can almost leverage that, and follow me on this. If you had to do face-to-face meetings previously, before pandemic, let's say, you'd have to get in your car, drive to the location,
Yeah.
meet with them, and then drive back. Let's say that's an hour of in drive time. Let's say you wanted to do 2 appointments during that time. You can't. Why? Because you're driving to one location and driving to the other. You have to
Right.
move the second appointment to another time. But if you can master Zoom calling, now, let's use you as an example. Before, you used to be nervous on camera. Now
Yeah.
you're great on camera.
Oh, thank you.
You can practice this stuff. FaceTiming friends, FaceTiming, this is what's in now. FaceTiming and Zooming. I'll tell you, if let's say you took appointments, let's say an hour to drive to the appointment back, and then another 1 hour for the appointments. Yes, that's 2 hours. And an 8-hour day, that's 4 appointments.
Correct.
But if you can Zoom call, you can get rid of that hour each time to drive. Now, instead of doing 4 appointments, you can probably do 8 appointments in one day.
Correct. And again, it's looking at it on the bright side, right? At the beginning, we don't understand what's going on, and we're very uncomfortable to changes. And it's one of those things that we have to change because that's just evolvement, right? We have to evolve.
Mhm.
So you just, you nailed it right on the dot. It's we're going to be able to be even more efficient.
Yes.
Yes, we're still going to have these type of meetings
course.
with our customers as needed, but it's going to allow us to make adjustments into our business that if we really want to grow our business, we're in a situation where there's opportunity, where now the consumer is even more comfortable. Before, the consumer wanted to meet you, and we had to meet because that's just the norm in our business. But now customers are even more comfortable just going, we're seeing so much online applications from clients wanting to qualify. Hey, well, let me send you the online app. And we're seeing so many customers just going online, submitting their application. So everything it's converting into more fast paced. And I think this is what it's all doing. It's just a faster paced recreation of our business where we're going to have more opportunity to do more in less time, more volume, more productivity, but we have to make those adjustments. So, on this time is just analyzing and restructuring and making some adjustments to our existing business that was already successful, but how we're going to make the adjustments now to cater to these changes where we can become even more successful through all these changes that are happening.
Yeah, I think you hit on the dot. Efficiency,
Yes.
right? If you can get more done in less time, why not do that?
Well, that's what's happening right now. It's one of those things that we're going that direction, and either you're going to make the adjustment to be part of that, or you're going to refuse to, and you're going to stick to your old ways. I think we all have to reinvent ourselves and readjust ourselves for the changes, just like the baseball players are going to do, and just like we are doing and trying to figure things out. But we have to be ahead of the game, and we have to readjust, and not later trying to readjust when you figured out that everybody has kind of left you behind.
We talked about in the last episode, which was, what was your advice to those who refuse to join social media? Just due to their, I'm going to do it my way and I'm going to stick to it. In the same sense, what would your advice be? I think it'll probably be the same for those who refuse to adjust to Zoom calls, FaceTime calls, and so forth.
Well, you're going to be limited to business. I had just an example just a day ago or 2 days ago. A customer, had interviewed someone for the job of buying their home, and they didn't hire them, so they wanted to meet with us. Then the curfew happens, right? And they couldn't come into the office because they wanted to do a face-to-face meeting for an interview for them to hire us to purchase their home. So we couldn't see them because the curfew basically got on the way of the schedule. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a Zoom meeting with them today so that we can do our interview and we can get them started with their house shopping.
Wow.
So we have to. It's just one of those things. It's a must and it's a need, and we have to make the adjustments. Some of my internal agents that don't do that, and even myself, they're going through a difficult time trying to figure stuff out right now. But I'm there to pump them and together as a team, as a culture, help each other grow through these moments. And next thing you know, man, we're going to be experts at it.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what's coming and how more efficient we're going to become by utilizing all these tools that have been there, but now it's that time where we got to use them now.
Mm-hmm. It brings me to the example. Back in the day, seatbelts were not required.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, the law was passed to require seatbelts, there was a big kick, shove, no way.
Yeah.
Now we look back and say, of course it should be required.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
common sense.
Yeah.
Same with car insurance.
Yeah.
It was not required back in the
Right.
day. And now it's like, man, of course you need car insurance.
Yeah.
How if you hurt somebody, how else are you gonna,
Yeah.
In the same sense, what's going on right now, the new norm, which is gonna
It's
be
a big shift. It's
a
big
huge shift.
Yeah, it's a big shift.
But I can't promise. But I tell you, based on the experiences, what I'm seeing, 3 years, 5 years down the line, we'd be like, of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's only more efficient.
You know what? Because we don't understand it right now.
Mm.
We may, some of us, we may not, we may, but it's the way things have to happen, because that's how things are developing.
Mhm.
And we might refuse in the beginning, but then later realize, oh, I think it was the right thing to do. And that's obviously what's going on right now. We're shifting from the industrial area now to the internet.
Technological area.
Yeah, technological area, and it's a big shift. And we gotta make the adjustment, man, and we gotta make it the best, because I think there's plenty of opportunity for growth. We just have to be, we have to buy into it.
I see. I think I want to end this segment with, because I guarantee you there are viewers that are they're stuck.
Yeah.
They're stuck on how do I adapt to all of this. It's overwhelming. It
Yeah.
really is. For someone who we used to go house to house and sign contracts to, hey, here, start e-signing, start Zoom calling, start going on social media. That's a lot to take on all at once.
Right.
And you were kind of there similarly. I think you had a little bit of a head start, but what would your advice be to someone? What's the first step they should do to get familiar with this?
I think I touched on it last time. It's get on the right environment, on an environment of a group of people or someone who's actually already doing it.
I see.
So that you're able to transition quicker, and so you're able to be coached correctly, so that you're able to get into it faster and quicker than you trying to figure it out on your own.
So don't figure it out on your own. Get a teacher.
Well, why would you figure it out on your own?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Why would you? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything has instructions nowadays, right? You
Yeah.
don't know how to do something, you Google it, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't know how to get your body perfectly to where you want it, you got to go out and get a coach. So we got to get ourselves into the right environment with the right people that is going to help us get us through that moment quicker and faster, so that we can learn it quicker and get into the rhythm of what we want to do.
I love that. I liked how you said everything has instructions nowadays, because you're right. Everything has instructions.
It does.
Yeah.
If you follow the instructions,
Yeah.
this is going to be the outcome, right?
Mhm.
And if it didn't work, it's because you didn't follow the instructions correctly.
Yeah. Or you didn't ask for the instructions.
Exactly.
And that's one of the main things too I think we talked about, was you used to always say, you're not afraid to ask.
Yeah.
If you have a question, don't be scared.
And I'm very curious, man. I'm a very curious person in life. I'm always asking questions because I want to learn.
Yeah.
As I learn more, I want to learn even more.
Yeah.
So right now, through all these changes, I'm just very curious to learn and make the adjustments in our business, in our life, in all areas, because we're trying to get better, right? And we're trying to go through these changes that we're just talking about, which is basically how we conduct our business. How do we go from these Zoom meetings? How do we go from all these online stuff and not even having so much of a connection with our customers and meeting one-on-one, but how do we get more efficient with it, and how do we educate our people and our agents to do the same thing as we're going through it? And it's just a learning process, and it's fun, and it's fun to learn it, to ask and get better at it, and we're just excited to go through all these changes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up really well. Heck, did you want to end anything for the audience and the viewers?
Opportunity. Seek for opportunity every single day. Have gratitude, good attitude, and go out and create opportunity for yourselves.
Wow. Well, that was episode 2, guys. Please leave us your feedback. We talked about it earlier, but we appreciate every comment that comes in. again, we value your time. I'm sure I speak on behalf of both of us.
Same here. Same here. Thank you guys for joining in, and we look forward to creating value as usual. And we're excited for our next time and all your feedback on this podcast.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.